some of these ICOs can have life-changing value increases. Yeah, exactly, Lori. Exactly. Life-changing value increases. You buy it at 3 pennies, it hits $100. It's potentially life-changing, um, life-changing, increase really. So the fact that we are restricted as U.S. citizens, I think, is a crime against us that will eventually convert to a native chain token. Oh yeah. Oh, Coin Doctor, they can throw that label of security on virtually any instrument and then say, no, you can't have it. No, it's not allowed. Throw people in jail. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think all of you know my opinion on it. But let's get into the coin mastery really quickly because we have somewhat of a formal method of doing this. All right. Today we're going to talk about Steem. Now, my slides. So the coin mastery of Steem from the Steemit social network. We have talked about Steem before, as some of you may recall, and I went into some of the explanation about how it could potentially, not potentially, really, absolutely provide a significant reward. Even in a down market, you can make very significant returns. I went into some of the details about it. The thing with Steem and Steemit is it's just complicated. Even people who use Steem, and I'm one of those, you have to, people who've been using it for months still do not understand all of the features and all the complexity of Steem. So I'll give most of you a leg up on that, but I just want to let you know that it's a massive infrastructure, a very significant crypto social network to get your hands around. Let's go through this really quickly. Day trading, short-term trading, options trading, future trading are extremely risky undertakings. They generally are not appropriate for someone with limited capital, little or no trading experience, and or low tolerance for risk. Never execute a trade unless you can afford to and are prepared to lose your entire investment. All trading operations involve serious risk, and you can lose your entire investment. No trades or recommendations or advice are emanating from here, and we cannot get sued for your losses of capital. All trades are for educational purposes only. People contact your broker or RAI for execution, merger, and other capital requirements. Everyone watching presentation adheres to all disclaimers on optionhacker.com and cryptoshark.com. Okay, now we got past that. Just so you know, I am long on Steem. I have been for a long time, and I hold a position. But that's not news to any of you. Oh boy. Yeah, I thought I got this right. Let me just correct this really quickly. Who is the team? It's really more of a issue of who is the team behind Steemit. Dan Larimer is the main guy, who I have a lot of respect for. He is a controversial figure. The launch of Steemit was incredibly controversial. They had two different mining methods. Many of the tokens that were originally mined were swept immediately into one developer's pocket, even though it looked like it was multiple developers doing the mining. Lots of controversy around it. Lots of controversy around it. So it did start with a great beginning. But it was founded around March 2016. So it's got 500,000 users now, and it started in March of 2016. That is just amazing growth. Just amazing, amazing growth. And of those users, supposedly roughly 10% are active. So 50,000 people using it. Still, it's not even in the noise for a network like Facebook, but it's a good beginning for a network that's this young and growing rapidly, and it's becoming much more popular in the crypto space, much more popular. So Dan Larimer is lead developer, came up with BitShares, Stellar he was part of, EOS is his newest baby, and Ethereum he was part of. He's a very sharp cat, extremely sharp cat, very libertarian. Not libertarian as the party is now, but I'm talking about the concept of give the power to the people, make sure that there are not restrictions on what types of money they can use, get away with the money, get away from the money power center. All of that's absolutely critical because he's not just a programmer, he is a political philosopher and somewhat of an economist. He understands the concepts of value and velocity of money, a number of issues that some other cryptocurrencies do not understand. And it's obvious they don't understand them because they're not validly behaving, so to speak. But so Dan Larimer is definitely, in a lot of ways, he would sound like me, or you might say I sound like him. We're both very, very freedom-oriented. And that is baked into the cake of Stellar, BitShares, and EOS. BitShares voted against some of the freedom, so he left. Stellar, basically, he didn't like what Ripple was doing, and he just liberated the technology, so to speak. EOS is much more complicated, much more evolved, and it's designed to be a platform and gives people the ability to have voting systems and how to assign the value for the particular votes. And EOS is very evolved in a political framework. EOS is the only platform or blockchain that has a community, if you want to call it, that has its own constitution. That is why it's so important for you to know about Dan Larimer. So one of the issues with Steem is that Dan Larimer left the project. And now there are 43 contributors. There are a lot of updates. Let's take a look at that really quickly. You can see right here, GitHub, I already opened it up. 3 days ago, a month ago, a day ago, and these are big changes. Merge branch, big change. Merge branch, develop into a merge app base. These are significant changes. So there's a lot going on with Steem with 43 contributors. I'm kind of curious how that's distributed. Let's take a look at that. Very well, not massively. No, so you're really top heavy here. You've got maybe 4 to 6 really active, and some of those are not as active now. So it's not as federated as it used to be. Let's put it that way. There used to be a lot more developers involved. Okay, so I shouldn't have put this here. I probably should have put this on the next slide. So let's resolve that little issue right now. And I'll put this right here. Okay. So Steem tokens are roughly 249 million, a little higher, with 266 million max. The same thing. Circulating max are about the same thing. So mining Steem is not a particularly fruitful endeavor at this point. However, that's not really the best use of Steem, mining. Steem dollars, very, very limited circulation, which I am a bit surprised about because of the utility of the Steem dollars. It was intended as a savings vehicle within the network and also to convert to actual dollars outside of the network. But that hasn't come to fruition yet. They are working on it, and though, in fact, I have already discussed that when we went over Steem before. So SBD is the symbol for Steem dollars. That has risen higher than Steem, which is not what the original intention was. I think part of that's just the limited supply. So the current value is, oh, you know what? I don't think that's probably not too far off. I'm not sure. I have to double check to make sure I've got the right value there. But one of the great things about Steem is if you use it in transactions, it is instant. Instant. There's no issue scaling. Steem handles more transactions than virtually any other blockchain out there because of the Steemit social network. So many people, 50,000, 100,000, voting, upvoting, downvoting, sending Steem, receiving Steem, powering up into Steem Power, powering down out of Steem Power, converting over into Steem dollars as a savings account. Very significant. It's typically not anonymous, though it could be. It's typically not anonymous because every Steem or Steemit account is associated with a number of different wallets, which I think we've talked about. Number of different wallets. I want to shut that all off. I wonder if I could do that. Yeah, anyway. Number of different wallets, and so consequently your expenditure and your receipt of Steem is tied to your wallet. It's not anonymous. It would be possible to make it anonymous, but it's not precisely what Steem is oriented towards. It's oriented towards developing social capital. So you don't want to disperse your identity among a bunch of wallets like you can do with virtually every other cryptocurrency and anonymize yourself. You want to be known, you want to become popular, so you keep one coin or one wallet, you rack up a lot of steam, and then you boost it into steam power. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. So what does it do? Hi, we're back to VeChain. Back to VeChain. You can tell which slide deck I used here. One second. All right, I'm going to check to see if anybody's asking any questions real quick. Yeah, VeChain on card. Okay, hold on here. Okay, yeah, we've got that covered. All right, so Steemit is a social network, which is not, I wouldn't call it a particularly attractive one. Let's look at, here we go. No, not that one. Let's look at this one, Steem. It's very plain looking, doesn't have a really nice UI. This is it. Yeah, this isn't my feed, but it's very simple looking. Not, nothing, nothing glorious. It doesn't have all the punch and pizzazz and cool features, but this is a really good example. Look at how much money this person has been voted. $754, and that can actually be converted out to $754. 1,822. Now this is the guy we've talked about before. He's massive on Steem, so it's not really fair to compare. But 324, 370. I mean, these are, this is not trivial money, especially when you consider that this is one of many, many, many articles that they might have. So pretty exciting what you can do with Steem and what you can earn. But it's a social network powered by the Steem token, which runs on the Steemit blockchain or the Steem blockchain. And the Steem token can be powered up into steam power. It is literally a